All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more complexity casting action. I'm your casting host, Beef, bringing you more HoN Tour today. HoN Tour Gold, to be specific. We got a lower round 5 matchup here. QsQ777 taking on another dimension. Caspe, Smackdonald, Mirage Hunter. Some names over there, some names for sure. Even Jim Parsons, who's was that, a comic book person? I can't recall right now, but I know the name for sure. But should be a great matchup. The number 3 ranked team in gold right now, I believe, is DmSn and QsQ. In terms of HoN Tour rankings, ranked lower than DmSn right now, even though they were in Diamond for a couple cycles. DmSn consistently finishing in the top 8 of gold has somehow pulled ahead a little bit, I do believe. So interesting. We'll see who does end up doing better in this game, but by all means it should be a fantastic one. Some very well-known Europeans on both sides here, and always should be a great game. Let's get on into it, guys. I did have to clear the chat there, but I do recall this. Both teams banned Parasite. We had the Legion team banning out Tempest, and then it was a Wild Soul ban by the Hellborn team. So those are your blind bans. Wild Soul, of course, the fantastic suicide. Nobody wants that ganker Parasite in the game. He's just so strong, and so many teams just don't even want to have to deal with it. So not going to be seeing him here this time. And then, of course, Tempest, the ganking, pushing jungler with his Elemental Void, the amazing ultimate, not going to be making it in either. So let's get into this lock pool now. We do have Bubbles, Warbeast, Pharaoh, Plague Rider, Legionnaire, and Keeper of the Forest. So Keeper makes it in after the Hellborn team choosing not to blind ban him. Interesting. And with that hero in the pool, we'll see if the Legion team might choose to first pick that one. Of course, some other strong junglers, though. The passive junglers, Warbeast and Legionnaire, join Keeper of the Forest in that lock pool. And then you got great suicides in the way of Pharaoh, Plague, and Bubbles. But they are blowing through this picking phase right now. Blind ban or regular bans, real quick. Caspe from DmSn does choose to ban out Fade, Magnus, and Jeraziah. So getting rid of a couple of those gankers, and then of course Jeraziah. I mean, there's no explanation needed as to why that hero's banned. Just so good with his protective charm, the Soul's Blessing, even that slow aura is so strong. Meraxis, Pebbles, and Ophelia being banned out by the QsQ7 team, just eliminating more junglers here. And I'm really hoping that these teams are going to round out with some active heroes, because with the banning of Fade, Magnus, Meraxis, Pebbles, that's a lot of your mid-game ganker initiator. Okay, that helps out. That's a lot of mid-game ganker initiators gone. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at these picks. First up, we had Engineer. So Caspe valuing the support hero very highly, but QsQ says, okay, you can have your Engineer. We're going to grab a Luna for our support, and then we'll pick up a Moon Queen just to put the cherry on top. Grab the very strong carry right there. So we'll see how DmSn chooses to respond with Silhouette and Rally. So grabbing a ganker, maybe a suicide mid-hero there in Rally, and then of course their own strong Silhouette carry. They're going to round it out with a Keeper of the Forest as well, and grab some pushing power and some initiation potential right there. And their last pick, most likely going to be a suicide, could possibly be another jungler here. But looks like QsQ rounds out their team with a Deadwood, so they've got a mid-type hero, of course an extremely effective ganker, and then they grab Legionnaire and the Plague Rider. So grabbing a suicide for themselves, and then of course the Legionnaire just going to be able to do so much work in that jungle. He's going to be able to get big farm nice and early if they do choose to pseudo tri-lane him, which I think they might do. I would think that they're going to be putting Moon Queen, Legionnaire up top, and then Deadwood mid. Aluna might be up top, maybe mid, doing a little bit of roaming. The final pick was Bubbles over there for the Another Dimension team. Rounding it out with a suicide, but there's the countdown, guys. We're getting into this game. coLcast presents HoN Tour Live, QsQ777, taking on Another Dimension. And I kind of got into this a little bit late. This was a rescheduled game, and so it was very last minute that I was actually going to be casting this. So let me actually take a look here at the HoN Tour brackets real quick for this event. And I want to see if the winner of this team actually qualifies for Diamond, or the winner of this game, because I'm not sure at this point. So let's take a look over here real quick. I'm actually going to send out a tweet on @BeefPotPie1 to let everybody know that we are, in fact, going live right now. And so, yes, currently we are in the top 6. So these teams are top 6 for Gold Division. So the winner of this game guarantees top 4 and will be moving back up to Diamond Division in the case of QsQ777, or for the first time for another dimension. Other teams in the top 6 include Shit Happens and Domain of Pain, already qualifying for Diamond. And then we do have another match going on a little bit later today. It's going to be Doberon Damp versus Team Please, aka Sozo. And there's a lot of action going on up here in the top jungle. The Hellborn team trying to defend their ward spot. And not going to be successful, seeing that there are so many players up here. You already hear all the timbers going off. Keeper of the Forest, I mean, she says, all trees, no matter, what is it, oaks, ashes, or redwoods are my children. Well, she's got to be kind of pissed off that she's cutting down her children, and so is her buddy Rally. Interesting, interesting. They're just using those hatchets on whatever they can find. So, best of luck to these two teams, and one of them going to be qualifying for Diamond Division after this series. It is, of course, the best of 3 series, and I think I might have a co-caster coming in for game number 2. Once again, this was really last minute. There was a reschedule here, and so I wasn't able to get a co-caster for game number 1. We were actually about 5 seconds away from having a co-caster, but unfortunately Panny was not quite able to join in time. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but not a problem. Solo cast here for game number 1, and game number 2 might have a possibility. I was talking with a couple different players that were interested, maybe Emperor, Panny, maybe even Nova was actually interested in coming on. So let's take a look at these lanes we do have for QsQ777. In the long lane, Plague Rider being played by Zane. He's going to be matching up against Smackdonald on the Silhouette. And that should be a matchup the Silhouette's comfortable with. But if Plague Rider doesn't get ganked, which she probably won't, because this is a passive jungler here from Keeper of the Forest, unless somebody from mid comes down and bubbles at level 6 with a rune, easily able to gank this Plague Rider perhaps. Silhouette might actually have a little bit of a rough time down here. The Contagion nuke combined with the Extinguish is actually going to give Plague Rider great lane position and a ton of harass potential. And Silhouette, her great auto attack damage isn't necessarily going to be there. As in the top lane, Moon Queen, one more auto attack. No, we'll be able to get away and use the health potion. So it looks like that was just a combination of a keg and a turret. The Compel and the Deafening Roar there from Rally, choosing to go for that Demoralizing Roar instead of Battle Experience. So a little bit of a different build than I am used to. But not quite able to land the kill there onto Imbaboy and the Moon Queen in top lane. But will force her to use that potion and a bit of her regen there. It is Imbaboy on Moon Queen, Tilla on the Aluna. They're going up against Rally being played by... Well, actually, there might be some action here in middle lane. As Bubbles takes a lot of damage. Looks like he did, in fact, take that Rotten Grasp to the face. So this is, in fact, Zergo up here playing the Rally. And Jim Parsons, he's going to be on the... Engineer. So this is an interesting lane. Once Legionnaire actually comes over and perhaps starts ganking, this could definitely go in favor of the Hellborn team. Great thing here, though, from Legion, they've got good vision. They've not only blocked that camp, but they've actually used this Ward of Sight to make sure that any time Rally is coming over, that they're going to know all about it. Engineer potioning up back here as he's taking quite a bit of pressure. Moonbeam not going to go off to interrupt that. No power throw either. So don't want to have to waste too much mana on something like that at this point in the game. Back to Silhouette and Plague Rider. Let's take a look at their CS perhaps. Silhouette at 11 and 2, whereas Plague Rider is actually up at 5 and 8. So doing well in the denies, of course, with that Extinguish ability. But not managing to hit all those last hits as in the top lane, a power throw goes out. And Rally Takes a lot of pressure, and Silhouette's actually taking some pressure as well. Gonna try to pound the auto attacks back in, but one more contagion nuke, and Silhouette goes down. Zane picks up the bloodlust kill. It says, I don't need last hits on creeps. I get last hits on heroes. And indeed, he did. Bubbles in the middle lane gonna take some pressure as well, but just bottles on up. That is, of course, Mirage Hunter on Bubbles, going up against Death Growl, the mid player of QsQ777. And right now, Bubbles 10-3 as opposed to the 18-10 of Deadwood. So Deadwood certainly getting the better end of the last hitting exchange. The difference here is that he might run out of regen, whereas Bubbles is going to go bottle up an Invis rune right now. Deadwood still has that potion, but that's going to have to last him for the next few minutes. And Bubbles, if he chooses to use some of the mana on spamming out something like his Shell Surf, well, Deadwood could very, very well run out of regen, and then Deadwood's not going to be able to get in there to hit so hard with that hatchet and with that log in his hand. More harassment going on up here. Look at Aluna and Moon Queen. 37% of the damage done being done by the Hellborn team here in the top lane. So they've done a fantastic job of harassing both these players out of regen at this point. And even a mana battery picked up nice and early by Rally in the top lane. Zane on Plague Rider going to be able to drop the Contagion. If he actually drops the Plague Rider ultimate here, Silhouette will go down. Not going to be doing that just yet. And in the middle, Mirage Hunter goes down to Deadwood. Looks like the Willowmaker was just learned right there and immediately got the kill onto Bubbles, so very well played. As in the top lane, there's the Compel. The Deafening Roar comes out as well. Luna with the Emerald Lightning. They're going to try to turn it around onto Engineer, perhaps. Luna and Engineer both in some trouble. Luna with the nice juke, though. And now Engineer's going to have to get out of there. Nice use of the Keg. There's the Compel as well. And no Moonbeam available just yet from Moon Queen. Engineer will be able to escape and make it to town to die another day. Rally perhaps taking some pressure as well. He's going to have to back on up with no regen left to his name. So well played by both teams. That was really a nice Keg. I'm always impressed by the ability of the players in these games to actually get those Kegs off effectively. Have them perfectly placed, not only to hit their opponents and knock them away, but also to propel themselves forward. So, well done, well done. A little bit odd that Aluna just grabbed a double damage. I don't know if she was actually taking that. I would assume she was taking it to actually make sure that nobody else got it. Otherwise, she would have given it to Deadwood most likely. And Bubbles breaking his invis right there to actually throw out an auto attack. Not going to be going for any kills anytime soon, I suppose. No roaming just yet. Bag in a Box in his jungle, and Caspe in his doing their things. They're both in the mid 200s right now. 250 and 240 gold per minute for our Legionnaire player. Perhaps having a little bit of a difficult time. He is currently at 600 gold, and with a kill on this double stack, he'll be able to get his Helm of the Black Legion relatively soon. Plague Rider, a hero that is not known for his anti-push potential, actually doing a fantastic job thus far of making sure that his tower is not pushed. There's the Willowmaker onto Bubbles, and he will go down in the middle lane. Mirage Hunter taking his second death at the hands of Death Growl. I wonder if when he goes up for the punch, he just goes, and just like, there's a guttural Death Growl. I don't know. I don't know, guys. You'll have to ask him. So, Legionnaire, yeah, he's going to be very, very close to getting that Helm of the Black Legion quite soon. And Plague Rider will retreat now. It looks like, no, he's just going to be going back to get another deny. But this tower is going to be getting relatively low. Tree, when he comes back for one more push, will most likely be able to get that one down. And a bit interesting of Tree. He goes for the Logger's Hatchet, and then he goes for Ring of the Teacher before finishing up the Ring of Sorcery. Not always the build that we see. Instead, going for that slightly more push-oriented, perhaps. Ring of the Teacher gives him a little bit more damage, the armor aura, of course, and the mana regen. But as he picks up a Pickled Brain now, he's going to have a ton of mana regen. Expect to see him not starving for that anytime soon. Plague Rider's still doing just so well down here. I really can't emphasize how strong of a hero Plague Rider is in lane. I'm personally of the opinion that Plague could use some tinkering. I think that his potential as a suicide hero is a little bit too strong. As a hasted Deadwood's going to come in here. Nice kelp field though, and Bubbles will be able to save himself for now. Going to be trying to turn it around perhaps just a little bit. And Deadwood, if he's able to actually get in there and drop that Falcon Punch, will be able to get the kill, but not quite able to close the distance safely. There's the Rotten Grasp, and, well, there's the Song of the Sea. Deadwood Punch goes down, and so does Bubbles. Top lane, Moon Queen perhaps into trouble. There's the Moon Finale, though, trying to man up and turn it around onto Rally. Rally will survive for now. Terrifying Charge brings him down, though. No taunt. There's the taunt onto Engineer, and where's the Decapitate? No mana for it, but the Power Throw finishes him off. Bottom tower goes down as well. And so action in all three lanes right there, all of a sudden just starting to heat up. But in the end, QsQ777 takes a 2,000 gold lead and nearly 5,000 experience. Bubbles returns once more to the middle lane, getting absolutely crushed in his lane. Deathgrowl has done a fantastic job here so far in shutting down the Bubbles. And Rally perhaps in some trouble. There's the Moonbeam. Gonna have to use the Compel to make his timely escape. His Silhouette in the bottom lane. There's the Plague Carrier, and down she goes. Even picks up a couple more creep kills. Another 140 gold being added into Plague Rider's already overwhelming purse. I mean, he's 36 and 24 in 10 minutes as a suicide. That's absolutely fantastic. He does actually pick up an item right there. What was it? It looked like a bracer? Yes. It is, in fact, going to be a bracer. So Plague Rider going for that oh-so-common Astrolabe route. Deadwood just continuing to farm that middle lane at a pretty exceptional pace. 376 gold per minute with his 3 hero kills and 1 assist. He's done a fantastic job thus far, and Deathgrowl looking really, really strong. Looking like he's going to have something around a 14-minute portal key with level 11, and that's going to spell certain doom for players like Bubbles, Silhouette, the Engineer, even the Rally and Keeper of the Forest. If they're not able to get some levels and get some tankiness on them, I'm talking picking up some Plated Greaves or start working on a Helm of the Black Legion for Rally, they could very well be dying to that level 11 Rally, or excuse me, level 11 Deadwood as well. Speaking of Rally, he has opted to go for some Steam Boots and just having to ferry out a lot of regen. Legionnaire working on some Ghost Marchers. Might be looking for a kill on the Rally, but there is backup by way of Engineer and Keeper of the Forest making their way up here. And this Ward of Sight actually being placed by Tilla, so the support of QsQ is going to be able to see anybody coming in this way. We'll see if they can actually make sure that the invis from Keeper is spotted, though, as the only Rev Wards down are not their own. Now Moon Queen perhaps going to be in some trouble. The root goes out. There's the Shell Surf, Song of the Sea. The Keg going to miss. Compel connects, though, and down goes Imba Boy. So the carry player for QsQ takes his second fall of the game, down to 237 gold per minute. Fortunately for him, he is on a hero that can recover quite nicely, and he's got a team built around him that will be able to provide him that recovery, as they should be able to put some pressure on in different lanes once they start getting the items that they do need. Top tower, though, going down to Keeper the Forest Rally, and a double damage Bubbles, as there it is, taunt being used by Legionnaire just to give him some additional armor, making sure that he was not going to take a fall. And Deadwood does have enough mana for his, or excuse me, money for his portal key, and there it is. So picking that thing up, and with level 11 here, 12 minutes in, he's going to be primed for doing some serious damage in the coming minutes. So we'll keep a close eye on him and see who he just blows up. Bubbles in stark contrast, really, and he's back up at 228 gold per minute, but nowhere near the 400 gold per minute of this Deadwood, who is using his clear cutting now to actually just make his way down this lane. He will walk right by this Ward of Sight if he chooses to evacuate the tree line at this point. Using the portal key to push up even further. So now going to be looking for that silhouette most likely. Portal key on cooldown. Got 1 more second. There's the Willowmaker and 1 auto attack. Just silhouette. See ya. That's a level 12 Deadwood. Like, you just don't live against that if you are in fact a level 8 silhouette. Legionnaire going to do some cutting of his own, but this is creep cutting, not clear cutting. Well, although, you know what? He did just take down a tree with his logger's hatchet. So, some clear cutting and some creep cutting being done by our logger. But they will be able to easily take down this bottom tower. No TP support going to be coming in just yet, as Deadwood is in fact TPing the middle lane. Going to try to get the deny on that one. Perhaps no, going to be going in on to Keeper of the Forest. He's going to invis himself. Goes down, though. So trading his own life, even though the kelp field is being used. Moon Queen in some trouble up top, though. Going to try to man up onto Rally. 1 more auto attack. He will get the kill onto Rally. And will he actually be able to escape the Engineer? Keg goes out, does connect. No jukes from Imba Boy. Sad days. Engineer will pay for this one, though. The team coming in. There's the Oak Bolt. And dropping the turret. Legionnaire does cancel his charge. Power Throw connects, though. Until it says mine. Picks that one up, and 2-0 and 2 now for the Luna support. He's probably pretty happy with where he's at. 150 gold per minute. It's nothing bad for a support, certainly. Silhouette, though, Smackdonald, 205 gold per minute, is definitely falling behind. It's a little bit unfortunate for him. He really is going to need to get some protected farm in his jungle, but wards like this one from Tilla are certainly not going to be helping out. Need to be able to get some counter warding done in locations like that. Some wards protecting the various entrances to the jungle, and then trying to just get him farmed back up while the other parts of the team try to gank, but I mean, you really look at this team and you say, okay, Bubbles, Rally, Engineer, yeah, they should be able to mount an offensive at some of their way. Yes. Jim Parsons just drops a ward directly on top of Ward of Revelation. The Hellboard team has 30 seconds to counter that one for absolutely nothing. And Zane says, ha 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 ha, it's my birthday. Picks that one up, 50 gold in his pocket, and Jim Parsons probably just saying, oh, man, thought things couldn't get any worse. There's actually, it could get a whole lot more worse for Jim Parsons. He's 2-2 and 1, 135 gold per minute. At 16 minutes in, he's been able to get some wards up and pick up some striders as well, so things could be a whole lot worse for him. He's done a pretty good job thus far this game. Mirage Hunter relegated to actually doing a little bit of jungling as he's finished up his Steam Boots now, but certainly not finding the farm pretty much anywhere else. Unlike Death Growl, who's now still up at 400 gold per minute. Plague Rider the Suicide following him shortly thereafter at 340, and anywhere that Deadwood finds an opponent, he will just go in for the kill. You might know this is an illusion. That could be the reason that he's actually not going for the kill just yet. Legionnaire going for those Ghost Marchers after the Helm of the Black Legion. Going to be able to easily clean up this triple stacked Ancients. As his Helm of the Black Legion does start to wear out, though, he will take a significant amount of damage from these creeps. More triple stacked Ancients going on the other side as well. As we've had an interesting game. It's not exactly a passive game, as the Luna does get caught out right here. There's the Song of the Sea. The Kelpfield's going to go down, and the Compel actually finishes him off. So Zergo gets credit for that kill with the push onto Bubbles, even though he was never actually within probably 1,000 units of the Bubbles, manages to get the kill, so that's kind of cool. Rotten Grass being used there under Deadwood. Compel's going to come in. Seismic Slam going out. There's the Song of the Sea. The Root as well. And Death Growl will go down. Ultimate Warrior Streak being ended by Caspe on the tree for a nice 365 gold bounty. And with that, they're going to be able to push out onto their opponent's river. Perhaps take some more offensive wards. And then look to maybe close this gap even further. They are down 8,500 gold and 5,000 experience at 18 minutes into this game, so they really do need to make something happen. But a portal kill on Legionnaire. There's the taunt onto Rally. Terrifying charge goes out. There's the red power throw. Decapitate not coming in just yet. Shell Surf, there's the kick. They're going to try to turn it around onto Legionnaire. Turret slowing him down greatly. Moon Queen's in position, though. There's the Moonbeams. The Moon Finale going off, and down goes QsQ. Portal key back up, and Legionnaire trying to make something happen. Not having enough mana, though. And will not be able to actually get a taunt off. Instead, just choosing to farm out these creeps. Plague Rider in the vicinity as well. Looking like he wants to drop a Plague Carrier ultimate on somebody's face. But all their faces are protected. Must be an Asian country. So many surgical masks. Nobody's vulnerable to it right now. I really do like that custom, though. I like that. I see people wearing surgical masks here in the States, and I'm like, good on you. Like, maybe you look weird, but I appreciate the fact that you're trying actively not to get me sick. So, shout out to the people that do care about others, that are empathetic, sympathetic, whatever the term is. But back into this game, enough about that. Deadwood, he has picked up an Arcana, so actually going to be working toward a Hellflower, of all things. Not going to be going for a Soul's Bulwark, which was what I thought he was going to be going for next. Souls, of course, does increase the damage on the Rotten Grasp, the auto attacks, and the Willowmaker, but being that there is a Legionnaire on the team, might be leaving that for him to get instead. Firebrand onto Moon Queen after her Steam Boots plus Whispering Helm. Going to be able to use that to actually farm up just a little bit faster. Of course, the damage, the attack speed, and the movement speed all help her move around and just find the farm a little bit easier. Speaking of Whispering Helm, Silhouette also going for one. We see using the Minotaur here to actually help stack the Ancients. But Whispering Helm build on Silhouette, a lot of times you do see Silhouette going straight Shrunken Head afterward. This is an interesting game because I actually would not advocate getting Shrunken Head. That's not going to save you against the Deadwood. That's not going to save you against the Legionnaire. It is going to save you against the damage of a Plague Rider ult and the Moon Queen ult and the stun from Moon Queen and the Luna. But I don't know. I feel like maybe later in the game it could be useful. But I honestly feel like it's not the item to get right now. As Legionnaire is looking for a kill here. Goes in on QsQ. No, not going to be able to hit the taunt, though. Instead, just going to clean up a lot of these creeps. The spin's going down. Oh, almost got the hit onto QsQ right there, but not quite in time once more. And the Hellborn team will just choose to retreat. 9 players in position. Moon Queen farming the jungle now. And the Hellborn team saying, okay, we do not want to get into this just yet. But Legionnaire might not have any choice. He's going to go in for a kill onto some creeps here. Does get spotted out by Keeper of the Forest as the Snotter Scrab screams, where's Malakin? Need someone to do my sewing. I've always thought that was a fun saying. So, right now both teams just kind of posturing, trying to get some farm on their carries, but Silhouette being hopelessly out-farmed at this point as gold per minute tab just bugged out a little bit. 262 gold per minute. I mean, she's only 20 gold per minute down from the top on her team, but that goes more to show you just how far behind her team is rather than how well Silhouette's doing. She has started to recover, but without one of the key farming items like a Nullstone in this case, I just don't see the possibility here for Silhouette. She's starting to try to work on these Ancients with the assistance of Keeper of the Forest, grabbing a kill on a couple of them, doing a great job of actually hitting those ones. Missed one, but with that, she's jumping back up. But on the other side, I mean, Moon Queen, with her innate ability to just farm well, and because of that multi-strike, and because of her high damage, you know, I don't know. They're going to need to get a lot of ganks out here if they want to compete with QsQ going into the later stages of this mid-game. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard road here for another dimension, but they're not going to be giving up anytime soon. Getting some of the tankiness up onto Rally with that Helm of the Black Legion, but Hasted Legionnaire now looking for Silhouette And Legionnaires in the middle. There's the root onto him. Kelfield goes out as well. Compel, and down he goes. So, good response. He ran right by a ward when he picked that one up. And good response there from DmSn to actually take down that level 13 Legionnaire. That is Bag-in-a-Box's first death. Maybe getting a little bit careless. Willowmaker right there onto the Minotaur, and Silhouette, that's more of a just a screw you. Like, it wasn't worth it necessarily to use all that mana and the cooldown on that Minotaur objectively, but it's certainly something that's going to be back up. And you know what's not going to be back up is that Minotaur. It's dead. You get the money, you get the experience, and the cooldown is not available for quite a while here for Silhouette, so she's not going to be able to use that right away. As tower trading going on, top tier 2 traded from middle. Both teams seem to be content with that, and we always say trading towers favors the team that's behind. And so DmSn happy with that situation. Top tower is still up and relatively high life up here for DmSn. I really would like to see the Helmborn team push that one down. Maybe even try to take 2 so that they can really open up a path to the Ancients over here and make sure that they're able to prevent the Legion team from taking those out consistently. Moon Queen offensive jungling the opponent's jungle, as is Rally opposite the side of the map, though. As both teams just continue to try to get their farm on. Rally picks up the first Soul's Bulwark here in the game, and Legionnaire picks up an Eye. So interesting from Bag-in-a-Box to pick up an Eye rather than going for something a little bit more offensive, perhaps. But taking out wards, you could argue that that's the most offensive in the book. Moon Queen has finished up her Geometer's Bane, and still just going to be trying to farm the enemy jungle, but too bad, Moon Queen. You already killed it all. And so now just going to be taking a little bit of a trip, doing some warding and maybe some counter warding, and trying to run the train, find somebody to take out. But the Legion team playing very, very passive, and Silhouette does finish up a Shrunken Head, so that's the route that she's going to go. When she gets punched and taunted by Legionnaire, I'm going to sit there and laugh and say, what good did that do you? You 1200 life Silhouette you. So I don't agree with that decision. I think that perhaps later in the game that could have been something to go for. But at this point, you really do need something that's just going to allow you to farm a little bit better, whether that's a Firebrand or a Shield Breaker. Probably a little bit too late for a Nullstone going after that Whispering Helm. But, Top lane. Tower looks like it's going to be finally going down as the Geometer's Bane is popped by Moon Queen. And just blitz down that defensive tower. No problem whatsoever. Will they be going for 2? It doesn't look like it just yet. Instead, looking to actually get in on the lead, the Keeper of the Forest. There's the Plague Rider ultimate. Going to be bouncing around at the Decapitation as well. The Bound Eye on Plague Rider now. Okay, so they did transfer it off of Legionnaire, but able to get the kill onto Caspe. And did he use the root? He did not. So I thought that I saw it going off right there. Nope, did not. They used the Plague Rider ultimate to decapitate, though. So there's some big cooldowns, especially since Plague is still level 15. It's 115 second cooldown rather than, I believe, 60 or 65 at level 16. At level 3, I should specify, because sometimes you're level 16, you don't want to get your level 3 ultimate. Why you wouldn't want to, I don't know. Sometimes you do misclick. I've done that before. So Plague just going to kind of farm, and both teams just playing real passive right now. The warding game is happening as they're trying to counter each other's wards. There's no eye been picked up yet on the Legion side, but they're just trying to keep their wards up and defend what they can. This ward being used repeatedly here by Jim Parsons. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a secret. If you actually place a ward right here, and then as engineer knock down these 4 trees with a keg, you can actually do it right in the middle right there, and it'll knock down all 4 of the trees. You get vision all the way up to here, 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 to here. Like, that entire part of the map is eliminated, and that is a stupidly good ward. Of course, if you do see those 4 trees being knocked down on the other side, you might know to counter ward that position, but that is a ward that not very many people use. There's the taunt onto Silhouette. She's in some serious trouble. Kelfield comes in. Willowmaker onto Silhouette. Decapitation. She goes down. Shrunken Head not helping out. Legionnaire activates his barbed armor in the middle of the energy field. He's going to go down. The Moon Queen finale, though. She's going to be trying to pick people out. But no, everybody's able to get the split off for the time being. Compel onto Engineer, and he's able to get out of there as well. Keeping the Force not so lucky. Plague Carrier ultimate. Going to be able to bring him down. And 4 players still alive for the Hellborn team. Might be looking to maybe finish some more people off, or maybe even fall back and take Conquer with what appears to be a double damage on Moon Queen, as it does actually wear off right there. Instead, going to be looking at perhaps the defensive tower. But that fight right there was a prime example of why I don't like this item. The Shrunken Head is, it's not going to do anything to prevent you from getting taunted and killed. Just, it's not going to do anything there. You need to worry about positioning, and because you're going to have to be so far back, that means that you want to be able to put out as much damage as you can when you finally do get into the fight, and that also lines up with being able to farm easier. So I really just disagree with the pickup of the Shrunken Head right there, but well, not a whole lot that I can do about it, not a whole lot that he can do about it at this point in the game. Bubbles has picked up a sacrificial stone. So one of the reasons from that is the armor. It does, of course, have 5 armor on it, and it does have a 3 armor use. Great against Legionnaire and Deadwood and Moon Queen, really. So I really would like to see the stacking of more armor items on this team. They've got Plated Greaves on Keeper of the Forest now, but that does not stack with the sacrificial stone armor. I would like to see either a Gnome's Wisdom or an Abyssal Skull picked up eventually. They've already got the Soul's Bulwark set to defensive. Upgrade that to a Demonic when they're able to. And even going past that, as far as to pick up something like a Frostfield plate on one of these heroes would be fantastic. Keeper of the Forest or Bubbles come to mind. Hell, even the Rally, if he's able to finish that Demonic in a reasonable time and then move toward getting a Frostfield plate, it's going to be great armor for him, and it's also going to have that slow effect aura and the slow effect on use. So a good choice in this game for sure, but you also need to be a little bit worried about trying to lock these players down on the DmSn team, excuse me, on the QsQ777 team before they're able to get all their major spells off, especially that Plague Carrier in the Moon Finale ultimate, which did spread out quite far. I mean, all the beams went off last time, just spread out really, really far. And the last tower will go down here in the top lane. TP going to be coming out from Legionnaire toward this bottom, most likely, yeah. So that's where he is. Going to be able to easily clean up that creep wave with just a couple of spins. Speaking of Soul's Bulwark, though, still no souls up on this Hellborn team. And I cannot explain to you how baffling this is to me. With a pure physical team like they have with this Legionnaire, Deadwood, Moon Queen, I mean, they have some magic damage for sure with the Plague ultimate and the Moon Queen ultimate, but all their auto attacks, most of their spells, you know, physical. You really want to have a Soul's Bulwark into a Demonic ASAP on this team. Deadwood instead opting to go for that Hellflower. Not a bad decision, but I think I would still like to see a Soul's Bulwark. It's not super expensive, and for what it costs you, it is just so worth it. Deadwood picked up an eye? No. Okay, so they did transfer the eye off of Plague Rider. So he does pick up a Nose Wisdom, so in addition to the Storm Suit, damn, Plague Rider is fat. 343 gold per minute. Look at this GPM graph. 500 gold per minute here on Moon Queen, and then 4 players hovering around 350 as opposed to no one above 350 on the opposing side. And that's what happens when you're down 13,000 gold, 15,000 experience at 33 minutes into the game. You are very behind. Silhouette, though, finishes up a Firebrand, so now going to start to put out some damage. And has hit level 16, so has the level 3 ultimate. The longer duration shadow was at 45 seconds? 35 seconds at level 3. Hellborn team, though, they're looking to push up as the Kongor token is still on Moon Queen. And there's a taunt actually going out from Legionnaire, not able to catch anyone. There wouldn't have been a whole lot of follow-up. Shell Surf and Death Lotus will be able to clean out the creep wave. Moon Queen taking a lot of damage from this tower. She's also finished up her own Shrunken Head in addition to the Geometer's Bane. She's actually going to fall back, instead opting to go farm out the creep wave up top. And the rest of her team just going to take the opponent's jungle, move on back and say, you know what, we're going to try this again in a minute and a half as they're going on Deadwood. There's the Kelp Field. Hellflower goes out onto Rally. There's the Willowmaker as well. Red Power Throw comes in. Deadwood will go down. Bound Eye onto the ground. Keeper of the Forest ultimate onto Legionnaires. He's inside the energy field. He's going to try to get the Decapitate onto Rally. No, not going to be able to. And two players from QsQ both go down. Or is there even more, actually? They're trying to bring down Aluna, who's trying to teleport out of there. But no, will not be able to get her. The Tablet of Command actually interrupting the port, it looked like, and then Aluna using her own Tablet of Command plus Deja Vu to actually jet on out of there. So interesting. Well, those are some nice pickoffs. Picking up the Deadwood and the Legionnaire. That's 2 out of the 3 key players here for the Hellborn team. And certainly some miscommunication there from Legionnaire. He thought that he was going to be able to get in, maybe save Deadwood, maybe pick up a couple of kills, but unfortunately that just was not the case, as Keeper of the Forest is actually up here in the vicinity of Moon Queen, who has finished up her Symbol of Rage. So of course going to be very, very nice for her in the middle of those team fights. Just pop that Symbol of Rage and it's like, oh wait, I was low on life? Like, really? I don't remember that. And not going to be low on life anymore. Plague Rider going mid, and it looks like the Hellborn team gathering up once more. Going to try to push out this top wave as far as they can in the time given to them. And that is a Silhouette illusion, so we'll see if they try to go in. There's the taunt, and Willowmaker even being used as well. Down for 70 seconds now, and with only 105 seconds left right now, there's going to be a very small 30-second window where Deadwood has his ultimate available and Moon Queen still has her Token of Life. So the Hellborn team's going to need to manage their time very, very well going into this next fight. And a nice job there from Smackdonald to actually bait out with that Shadow and try to bring home those kills. Or excuse me, not bring home the kills, bring home the use of the skills. There we go. Makes more sense, right? 30 seconds on that Deadwood ult, and bottom lane, Rally trying to push out as far as he can. He's picked up a Mighty Blade, so not looking to finish up that Demonic anytime soon. Instead, a Shrunken Head is what's on his mind. As the Geometer's Bane, Moon Queen Illusions are starting to go to work. We got 15 seconds on the Willowmaker, but this defensive tower is going to be dropping very soon. Silhouette finishes up her Geometer's Bane, so on close to the same farm as Moon Queen. She's just got that Symbol of Rage as Moon Queen with 45 seconds left. There's actually a Compel onto Legionnaire in the back. In comes the Shellstar Song of the Sea. Tree Ultimate canceled. There's Plague Ultimate going out. There's the Energy Field and the Tree Ultimate. Down goes Bubbles. Bubbles is going to come back with a buyback. It looks like one more was going to be going down as well. Moon Queen not going to be going down just yet. Has 20 seconds left on the Token of Life. Tree has gone down. Shellstar coming back in. Barrack's going to be dropping very, very fast. And buyback's going to be used. Perhaps Rally in some trouble. He's going to be going down. Moon Queen in the front line. 17 seconds left on the token. Symbol of Rage still available as well. Rally comes back in. Compel onto Plague Rider. Plague Rider's going to be going down. Aluna going to fall as well. Bound Eye once again on the ground. Moon Queen goes down. She's coming back up in 3 seconds with that Token of Life, and they're trying to chase down Legionnaire. Will they be able to get him? There's the Deafening Roar, and nice job. Going to be able to snipe out the kill onto Legionnaire. There's Moon Queen, though. Geometer's Bane up once again, and Bubbles taking a ton of damage. The Rotten Grass would be going out, and Rally in some trouble perhaps now as well, as Deadwood's trying to find Bubbles. Bubbles uses his portal key, though, and will be able to get out of there. Rally as well. And so lots of portal keys going off. In the end, the melee Rex did fall. The Token of Life was burned. Buyback on Rally and Bubbles. And Hellborn definitely got the better engagement there. That was a 4 for, I believe, 4 for 3 trade with 2 buybacks and a Rax in their favor. I know that Bubbles, Rally, Keeper all went down. I don't know if Silhouette actually died in that fight. It doesn't look like she did, actually. No, it does not appear that she did, and neither did Engineer. So actually it was a 3 for 3 with 2 buybacks and a Rax being lost by the Legion team. So still highly in favor of the Hellborn team, but didn't manage to get Silhouette or Engineer in that fight. And interesting. So DmSn, they're not giving up just yet at 40 minutes into the game. They're down 12,000 golden experience, but that's not a gigantic number at this point in the game. That's 1, maybe 2 team fights, 1.5 team fights worth of golden experience if they go heavily in your favor. So that was a good setup, though, by the Legion team. They were in there. They got the engagement. They were able to get started on the Legionnaire, not allow him to jump on them, and that's exactly what they need to do. Anytime that they're allowing the Hellborn team to jump on them with the Deadwood and with the Legionnaire, it's most certainly going to be going in the Hellborn's favor. But getting the initiation themselves is certainly great, as an Assassin's Shroud is picked up on Moon Queen. So that's interesting. The Assassin's Shroud being turned into a Genjiro eventually. She's about 1,400 gold away from that, or about 3 minutes. As Rally using his portal key, showing that off. As the wait, hold on a second. Where does Mighty Blade go? Am I wrong here? Did he never have the Mighty Blade? Was it Deadwood that had one? Because I was pretty sure that Rally had a Mighty Blade, and I don't see it on him anymore. I would expect him to have that in favor of the power supply, so I don't think it's going to be sitting in his inventory. I don't know. I could be wrong. That might have been Deadwood with the Mighty Blade. So interesting. Hellborn team just kind of biding their time until Kongor's up once again, still with no Souls Bulwark. And it's starting to make me angry, guys. It's actually starting to upset me how long they've let this game go with a pushing and physical damage team and no Souls Bulwark. A Demonic would be the perfect addition to this team on the Legionnaire or the Deadwood. And LEGO has plenty of money, just not opting to purchase it right now. Kongor taking a ton of pressure here. The Legion team very well aware of what's going on. They're trying to get into position. As you can see all around the map here, they're trying to get in there. But will they be able to before Kongor goes down? No, absolutely not. Kongor going to drop in the Token of Life once again, going to Moon Queen. She's now 400 gold off from finishing up that Genjiro, if she wants to finish it without having any buybacks available. And Legionnaire picks up a Shrunken Head. So, what the hell? Interesting. So those creeps were bugged out. But Shrunken Head on Legionnaire, I disagree with this very, very much so. If you have a barbed armor, you do not go for a Shrunken Head or a Barrier Idol. Your point is to be taking a bunch of damage to try to output it once again on Legionnaire with that barbed armor. Shrunken Head is going to make sure that you're not taking a bunch of damage because you already have a ton of armor, and you're not going to take any magic damage because you have a Shrunken Head activated. So counterintuitive items right there, and I disagree with that pickup. I think that Demonic Breastplate or even just a Souls Bulwark would have been much, much better. As a Sheepstick is actually finished over here for Keeper of the Forest, so nice for him. He's going to be able to lock down somebody when he gets in the middle of those team fights, but without a portal key, it's going to be hard for him to get in there in time, as the Shadow is actually going to take a lot of pressure right here. We'll be able to survive for now. Instead, going to send the Shadow home to maybe do a little bit of regen. I don't really know. As, well, here comes the push one more time into this bottom lane. Again, Jiro has been finished up on Moon Queen, so no buyback available. Shadow goes down. And I just heard a portal key. Deadwood actually up here on this platform. Might try to enter the base with clear cutting. I don't know if Keeper of the Forest actually just saw that. Moonqueen going to activate her Geometer's Bane Zone. Look how fast those go down. The turret goes out. There's the Compel onto Moonqueen, and Moonqueen in some trouble. Big taunt right there from Legionnaire. In comes the energy field. The Root not going to be going out as well. The Plague Ultimate bouncing around. Down goes Engineer. It looks like Bubbles is in a lot of trouble, as is Silhouette. Silhouette and Bubbles not going to be able to get out of there just yet. No, Bubbles will be able to get out. Going to turn it around. Moonqueen just says, nope, not even going to happen. A lot of the Legion players going to have to fall back, and everyone up from the Hellborn team. Still, Silhouette takes the fall. Bubbles able to escape, and GG, well played. Go out. They're still fighting, but this game is over. QsQ777 takes the game. They're going to be moving on 1-0 in this series. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed game number 1. Let's go ahead and get this scoreboard updated just a little bit. But we will, of course, be moving on to game 2 in this series, and if necessary, a game number 3. And a little bit later on today, we're going to be moving on to the Sound Blaster Heroes League, where we do have another match coming up. I believe that it's going to be Header taking on Druids in the round of 8 for the qualifier number 2. So make sure to tune in for that as well. And then, of course, guys, we will be right back with game number 2 in this series. This has been coLcast presents HoN Tour Live with me, your casting host, Beef. Thanks for watching, guys. A huge shout out to Complexity Gaming. Without them and the sponsors, coLcast would not be possible. So check them out at complexitygaming.com. And of course, do support the sponsors. We have Sound Blaster, Origin, QPad, PNY, Creative, G8 brand, and Twitch. Guys, we'll be right back with game number 2. Don't go anywhere. This is coLcast with Beef.